Folks, you begged, you screamed, you cried, you pleaded, and finally the G-Meister delivered. It's Goat Simulator for Linux! Cue fanfare. This is from Coffee Stain Studios, built on the venerable Unreal 3 engine. You can pick this up for €9.99 or what stinky space bucks. That is 40% off until the 30th of June. It is June this month, right? Yeah, that's the thing. So what is it? Well, I guess the real question about this game is, what isn't it? You're a goat. You're running around. You're beating stuff up. You're attaching your tongue to airplanes and going flying. This is basically Fuck Around Simulator 2014. And it's glorious. This is something that started off as an April Fool's joke and then is slowly turning into a legitimate game. It's kind of crazy. And for those of you who think it's in beta, there was this tweet or post or whatever. Hey goats, long-awaited Mac and Linux ports are finally available for everyone to enjoy. We've been working long and hard, blah, 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 blah. Port has a few issues. Contact Icklebutts at Icklebutts or Bugzilla at bugzilla.icklebutts.com. So, of course, like every review, we have to run it through the gauntlet. The Chairquisition! And, of course, our categories... Or rather, our rating system of craziness. 1 chair means it's shit, 2 chairs means that it's meh, 3 chairs means that it's pretty good, and 4 chairs means shut up and take my money! So then...
Well, we got categories.
Oh, yes, we have categories, don't we? Categories of doom! Mixed with the working, shiny and sounds, controls, and fun. And we average these out, toss them in a blender, and give you our final score. And that will let you know whether you should go and buy this game or not. So then, mix with the working.
How does it make with the working on our minimum test system box? Because I still haven't got around to doing it on the Steam box and upgrading. But Ubuntu! 1204, 32-bit, fuck you, that's why, dual 770. Powered box of business. 2 things. It currently still nopes when I change zones, so I can see the city and all the fun shit over there, but I cannot has. It is not mine. It hard nopes, known problems, Goat Simulator, Bugzilla, Iculus, all that. I've been reading the reports, and here's kind of the one big one. The noping I can understand. I can wait on that. I'm a patient one. This one caused a bit of damage on the review here. It does not save your progress. This is also a known bug, in the Linux build at least. And I learned this after I had collected 15 fuck-mothering trophies. I was like, woo, I've unlocked 2 of the modifiers, the mutators, but it's like, no, you haven't. Not when you start it back up. Fuck you, that's why.
Yep.
So for that reason, I'm going to give it 3 chairs for mix with working, J-Man.
Well, I mean, you can't really expect all games to run perfectly smoothly on the open source AMD drivers, especially when you're running an APU using a modern kernel. But it's still a bit unplayable. The frame rate is really, really low. You can still do stuff. It's just a bit awkward. But on the NVIDIA box, this 1090Ti GTX 670 superclocked Fedora 2064-bit powered beastie by my feet right here. It runs stupidly well. Yeah, I'm a bit pissed off that you can't save your goddamn game, because it's always a pain in the ass. Oh, I gotta start from the beginning. I got the Angel Devil Goat, and now I don't. I got Dead Goat. Oh, but I had to step away from the computer. Now I don't. It's a bit annoying. Doesn't really detract from the game's experience all that much, so I'm gonna give that 3 chairs as well.
No,
Boom.
all the physics bugs detract enough as it is. But yeah, actually, I haven't had a crash.
It's not a bug, Pedro. It's a feature.
I haven't had a single crash.
Wait, this is from
yet.
Microsoft?
Yes.
I haven't had a
Microsoft
single
Goat
crash yet
Simulator.
on the calculator running Corora 2064-bit with an AMD Radeon 5650 HD. Even with the open source drivers, granted, I had to tone everything down to get a playable frame rate, but no crashing. I only have to ding it a chair because it does not save progress. So 3 chairs from me.
3 chairs for mix with the working. That's a decent start. Shiny sounds, then
Well,
stone.
let's take a look at some of these. shinies and sounds. It looks a lot better than I was.
My eyes are
now
like sparkling.
I want the Mexican hat and sunglasses. But, no, the shiny and sounds, I don't know what I can say about the soundtrack negatively because it kind of blew my brain organ. I didn't cut it off. Right. It's just, it feels like the right theme music for your motorist destructive goat of goatiness. And it just works. 100%. Explosions. They go splody. People scream effectively. Good with that. Got a chubby off that. And since I'm the only one here with a graphics card made in the last 2 years, with everything on 11, minus motion blur. Now, even with motion blur on, completely playable. There's frame slowdown, but not like, fuck you, oh, jerk, jerk, jerk. So you're at like the top of the crane, and you pan around, yet you notice a bit of a frame drop. But outside of that, 3,000% playable. But one thing you cannot do not even think for one moment about enabling MSAA. That'll fuck you up. That'll take you to 2.
What's that then?
I said that'll fuck you up.
I said, well, no, MSAA for the chillins at home.
Well, it's kind of like a anti-aliasing system, Jordan, if you really want to know. That doesn't work very well with this game.
It doesn't work very well in Linux, period.
And there's a big warning when you enable it. It's like, don't do this, fucker, or you're a moron. And I went, yep, let's enable that.
It's like, oh, well, I'm a moron, derp.
Then I thought it froze. You know, I was Control-Alt-F2, dropped TTY, and I was like, oh, Tom was killed. Then I heard that it did something. I was like, what? Control-F1, Control-F7, let's bring the screen back. And I was like, nope, still froze. And I went to file the bug, read about it. It does drop it to like 0 to 3 frames a second. And this is using the latest NVIDIA beta drivers on the 770s. So all things mashed and considered, I'm going to give this 3 chairs. I didn't really have a legitimate issue with anything.
That fucking goat model, man. That goat texture is just creepy. It's dead eyes staring at you. It's like it wants to eat your soul. Well, like I said, on the NVIDIA box, this thing runs stupidly well. But most of the chairs I'm dinging it come from the AMD side because you like Pedro said, you basically have to crank everything to bare minimum if you're going to run this on an AMD card. Period. The music was interesting. It does very much seems like sort of a rampagey music, but I decided to throw on some goat horror because I figured that was some appropriate music for this style of game. That being said, no real issues. It's an Unreal 3 game. It looks like an Unreal 3 game. Some of the people look generic, but half of it is like the design intention of this game. So I don't know how much I can ding it versus this is what it's supposed to look like.
It is very hard to criticize.
It is very hard to criticize in that regard. So I'm going to give it the middle of the road score. 2 chairs.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat because Unreal Engine 3 is second only to Unity when it comes to lack of optimization. And if you happen to be running on low-end software like an APU or a 5-year-old laptop, such as my case, hardware. So yeah.
Well, you can always just download more RAM and be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna download some more RAM. Maybe it'll help. But to even get a remotely playable frame count on my end, I had to turn just about every graphical enhancement off. The only thing I could keep in the pretty was the texture quality and the physics. Those two are all the way up in the pretty department. Everything else is off. And that's even the only way you can get a constant 30 frames per second, at least on my end. So for me, I can't give it any more than 2 chairs.
All right, well, that's 2 chairs for Shiny and Sans. Now comes the fun part. Control! Then.
Unlike these 2 heathens, I would only ever think for 1 second to play a first-person goat with just a keyboard and a gerbil. Wouldn't even bother with a controller.
Make that the one heathen because I don't care.
Shut up, Joe. No issues with the keyboard and gerbil, as I was saying. Accelerate, not a problem. I didn't have to, and I have one of the EP extender Turbo 3000 gerbils from Logic Crap. No issues with that. Didn't have to modify a thing. Didn't have to adjust sensitivity. Boom. Done. And yes, there's some clipping issues, but it's this Goat Simulator. I mean, I have gotten myself stuck, but that was immediately followed by, what the fuck were you thinking, Vin? You shouldn't have tried that. Of course you're stuck. Of course you have to reset it now. So, nothing. 4 chairs, man. Straight up deserves it.
Yeah, keyboard mouse control is pretty much flawless. Biking takes a bit of getting used to, but that's more the intent of the game. So I decided, first time I booted this game up, I'm gonna play it on the big TV. Just enjoy big old Goat Simulator Fest. Maybe hook up some local multiplayer, because that's all it has right now, and have some fun with a roommate. So the problem is there are certain things that your goat kind of require. The goat requires certain controls that are not present on a controller. They exist on the keyboard, but they're just not mapped to your Xbox controller here. And that's a bit troublesome when you say want to do flips or stick your tongue onto things or ram things even. I actually won one of the goat fights by just jumping and going ragdoll until the guy died. I got the super goat doing that. It was using the controller, so I feel pretty awesome. But other than that, I mean, no real issues with the controls. Just honestly controller support. If you're gonna have controller support, period, at least make it work. 3 chairs.
You know, I will have to ding it a chair. That's not even because it doesn't support controllers. It's because with my Diablo 3 Steel Series mouse, it has 2 modes. Oh my god, look at me so twitchy. And slide mouse off the desk to look slightly to the right. Gesundheit.
Super jaded.
So yeah, even with the DPI changing thing here, I can't seem to find an ideal one, because it's either super twitchy, you so much as nudge the mouse, it'll do a 360, or you literally have to go all the way to the end of the desk just to be able to slightly turn around. So I can't give it 3 chairs for me.
All right, that's 3 chairs for controls, and I feel another sneeze coming along. coming up next, Ven, fun. Go.
Fun. Look at it, this classic trailer right here. How do you not have fun with this? This is fun incarnate, the fucking game. You get to play a goat, and you really feel like it's right when you're running around. You're like, I'm a goat. You really get in the mindset of a goat, which I imagine the mindset of a goat is just utter and sheer mayhem, because that's what I'm doing. And fantastic time. I mean, I know it's a physics demo that has kind of evolved into a real game. And for me, it's like getting the acetylene tanks and dragging a few hundred of them, below the crane and jumping off the crane and hitting that. And you're in for a good surprise when the game pauses for a few seconds.
It's just trying to determine what it needs to do.
It's trying
next.
to figure out, what have you created and what do I need to do for this? Then you reach for the moon. And today I was futzing around with it, and I had, the ball shooter thing on my back, plus the jetpack. And I had also enabled, Dova Goat. So, taters. I was just having no point, just walking around, fucking things up. And for me, the 12-year-old had a ginormous chubby. Complete fun. Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to being able to get into the other levels. I know Ryan will eventually get around to sorting that, hopefully before I'm in the home. But even with those issues, for fun, I'm going to give it 4 chairs.
Yeah, this game is surprisingly deep for what it actually is. This is supposed to be like a fuck you April Fool's joke. And all the little situations you can put your little goat in are very well thought out. The scenarios are intuitive. You know that you need to drag people to the fucking Satan circle in order to become Devil Goat. the goals are very clearly laid out for you, and it shows you, it gives you enough of an idea of what you need to do to accomplish anything, but you still have to go and do it. Plus, like, honestly, I thought I'd maybe get about 15 minutes of enjoyment out of this game, and I keep finding myself starting it up again and wanting to fuck around. This game is, like Ben said, it is fun incarnate. You cannot be angry while playing this game. So I'm gonna give that 4 chairs.
Things, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it is fucking destroying shit in mayhem, the game. How can you not enjoy that?
Because
Pedro.
fuck the police.
And Pedro's gonna tell you how.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The game is charming, I'll give it that. The whole bugs being features thing, I could get into that. I've played more than enough buggy games. Skyrim, for instance. Fallout 3. Bethesda games in general are buggy by definition, and they're pretty fun, and this game is pretty fun until you get to the point where in less than 2 minutes you have to restart the map. And again, remember, it doesn't save progress. You have to restart the map for the 3rd time because the road became ethereal and your goat keeps falling off the map. It's okay. I can handle bugs. It's just that Jordan said people can't be angry while playing this game. No, but they can be frustrated. And I got frustrated. And as far as the port goes, yeah, Unreal Engine 3, XCOM Enemy Unknown is the better port in this particular competition. Sorry, Ryan. So for me, it gets 2 chairs for the fun.
Are you honestly comparing a AAA game to Goat Simulator? What the fuck is wrong with you?
He just did, Brad. He just did.
I compared the port itself.
help.
I didn't compare the games. The games are
Shut
completely
your
different. It
goddamn
was the
even
port.
mouth as I summarize this section. 3 chairs for fun. Wrap this shit up. Put a nice little goat bow on it. This is a 2-chair game for final score. Gentlemen, final thoughts.
Well, that's going to be a not sure if what, sir. But final thoughts. Love it. And something I should have brought up is just the replay value will be infinite with this because there's a workshop for it already. And there's Mind Goat. That's another brilliant thing. And if we ever get online multiplayer with this, with health meters,
That's like native Linux Skyrim level time sync.
yes.
Yeah.
That's the time sync I don't even want to think about. And when I even get mildly bored what I did today, and I was like, I wonder how many achievements I unlocked. Then I was like, view all achievements. And I was reading, and I saw like 2 or 3, and I was like, fuck all, I'm getting that one. That's mental. Let's go do that, Vin. That sounds like a brilliant idea. So I had fun with it. I am going to give this 2 chairs with an asteroid because it kind of, on lower end systems and older systems, you're probably going to have some serious issues with it. It does have some genuine issues, even though it's not out of beta. It is fuck mothering freshly out of beta. So you're still going to see some really gaping, pounding
Gaping.
giggity holes in it. I still got to say, pick it up. You have a moderate system. If it's on sale, it's on sale right now. Definitely pick it up. You're always going to have it forever. It's something you're always going to be able to go back to and talk about with J-Man.
It's DRM free, so you can just pick this game up out of its Steam apps folder and throw it on any PC. It's great. Yeah, buy this fucking game. It is way too much fun. I had a blast playing it. I had been waiting for this game to come out on Linux for so long, and when it did, I was so happy. Yeah, that's really it. This game is fun on a bun. I think this game is more deserving of 3 cheers, but then we have our lone dissenting opinion.
The lone dissenting opinion comes from someone who actually, used to review games professionally back in 2006 through 2008.
Oh, is that another company that you work for that you got killed?
No, the magazine went out of business, but it happens. It was an actual print magazine, so yeah, it was bound to happen.
You should
But
join
here's
a
the thing.
distribution
This game-
project.
Yeah.
As far as YouTube
I hear good
bait-
things about this Fuduntu distribution.
as far as YouTube bait games go, this one's pretty good. It would be deserving of 4 chairs if it wasn't so frustrating with the bugs. Okay, some of the bugs are pretty fun. It actually got some genuine laughs out of me. I'm not denying that, and I would have given it 3 chairs if the last time I tried to play it, I didn't have to restart the map 3 fucking times in less than 2 minutes because the fucking roads simply became immaterial. So I can't.
That sounds like a personal problem.